You're struck by lightning somewhere in Central City, and you don't die. Congratulations. You have super speed, and you have absolutely no idea what that means yet. You wake up 3 weeks later in a hospital bed with tubes in your arms and a nurse writing something on a clipboard at the end of the room. You try to sit up, but your legs move before your brain finishes the thought. So you're standing on the other side of the room with the tube ripped clean out of your arm before you even register that you stood up. The nurse turns around, and you're just there, 2 meters away from where you were, with no memory of crossing the room. You try to step back toward the bed, but the same thing happens in reverse. And now you're in the hallway with your hospital gown open at the back and your bare feet squeaking on the floor tiles. A doctor comes running, so you try to walk toward him slowly, but slow doesn't work yet, and your shoulder goes straight through the plaster wall beside you, leaving a clean hole at shoulder height. Your arm comes back out with white dust covering it, and a long scrape running from your elbow to your wrist, where the wall took the first layer of skin clean off. That's your first introduction to what speed does to skin, and it's not the last. They get you back into the bed and strap a device to your wrist that tracks your heart rate. The number on the screen is so high that the nurse checks it twice. Your body is running at a speed it was never built for, and every system inside it is trying to keep up. You haven't even started yet. But the real problem isn't learning how to move fast. It's learning how to stop. You're a few weeks out of the hospital now, and the first real lesson is about clothes. Your skin survives high speed because the speed force, the energy field that bonded to your cells when the lightning hit, wraps around your body and protects it from friction. But your clothes get no such protection. So the first time you push past a certain speed on an empty road outside the city, trying to test how fast you can actually go, you arrive at the end of the road with your shirt gone and your jeans shredded down to strips around your ankles. That's the first lesson. You need a suit made from materials that can handle what your body now does, because running around Central City in torn clothing is not a sustainable strategy. So you spend 2 weeks working on that problem. And once you have something that holds together, you move on to the second problem, which is stopping. Your legs know how to accelerate, but the part of your brain that handles distance and judgment hasn't caught up yet. So you run toward a specific street corner on the east side of the city and overshoot it by 4 blocks, with your feet leaving long skid marks across the road before you finally stop, with your hands against a brick wall. You try again, targeting a lamppost, and this time you overshoot by 2 blocks. Progress, but not enough. The stopping problem takes longer to fix than the starting problem, and in the middle of working on it, you discover the food situation. Your body is burning through calories so fast that skipping a single meal leaves your legs shaking and your hands pressing flat against the nearest surface just to keep yourself upright. You start eating 4 full meals a day just to stay functional, but the stopping and the food are manageable problems. What comes next isn't. A few months in now, and you decide it's time to actually use the speed for something good. There's a car running a red light on a busy intersection a few blocks from where you live, and you see it heading straight toward a woman crossing the road, so you run out and grab her by the arm to pull her clear. But the force of the grab at that speed whips her sideways so hard that her shoulder pops out of the socket, and 2 of her ribs crack against your forearm on the way through. She lands on the pavement on the far side of the road, alive, but with her arm hanging at the wrong angle and her face pressed into the concrete. You stop the car from hitting her, but you did more damage than the car would have. That's when you understand the actual problem. Your body moves at a speed that a normal human body was never built to survive contact with. So grabbing someone at full speed is roughly the same as hitting them with a car, just from a different direction. To actually help people, you need to learn a completely different skill, which is how to slow your acceleration down on contact so the force transfers gradually instead of all at once. That takes weeks of practice with crash test dummies borrowed from a university lab, with your hands learning to dial back the speed in the last half second before contact. While you're working on that, you discover something else. When you run at full speed, time around you slows down to the point where a single second stretches out into what looks like several minutes from your side. So every long run you take adds up to real time that you experience alone, standing in a world where everything else has stopped moving. You come back from a 10-minute run and your legs have been still for 10 minutes, but your body has been waiting much longer than that. and that gap is only going to grow. Skip forward a bit, and you're several months in now, with the control getting better and the confidence starting to build with it. There's a situation on the highway outside the city where a truck has jackknifed across 3 lanes and cars are piling up behind it. So you decide this is the moment to push past anything you've tried before and clear the road before anyone gets hurt. You run out onto the highway with your legs going faster than they've ever gone, weaving between the stopped cars and pulling drivers out through their windows and setting them down on the grass verge one by one. It works. You get everyone clear in under a minute, which from the outside looks like you simply vanished and then reappeared, with people already standing safely on the grass. But when you stop and look down at your arms, both forearms from the elbow down have the outer layer of skin scraped completely away, leaving the raw tissue underneath sitting open to the air. That's what air does to skin at that speed. Air stops behaving like air and starts behaving like a road, so every second you spend at that velocity is the same as dragging your bare arms across concrete at 100 miles an hour. The speed force protects your deeper tissue and keeps you alive, but the very surface of your skin is on its own, and at that speed, it goes. The healing takes a few hours, with new skin closing over the raw patches while you sit on the verge with your arms out flat. That's actually fast by any normal standard, and the speed force is doing that too, pushing your recovery rate far beyond what a normal body can do. But there is a speed threshold out there, beyond which even that recovery can't keep up with the damage, and you haven't hit it yet. You will.